Hey everybody, welcome to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler, and this is Bogles. So you have to forgive me this week. I'll tell you up front. I'm playing a little under the weather here, and I had a basketball injury, so I've got my foot propped up trying to play Magic online. So apologies in advance. I'm not at 100% here. I'm playing through the pain, but luckily Magic Online not a contact sport. So we're gonna keep this hand here. Our opponent mulliganed as well. This hand looks pretty solid. We have the Boggle. I believe we're on the draw, which is unfortunate, but we have the Boggle, and we have, great enchantments for it. 3/1 drop enchantments plus a removal spell. This is the dream, unless we get Thoughtseize or Inquisition on turn 1. That's what this is going to come down to. So, I mean, here we go, I guess. Spirit Mantle, I'm going to bottom since we can't cast it. Alright, a mountain. I think we're safe here. Alright, this should be great for us. That's very good if we find a land. Oops, we just want some green mana to cast this here, Boggle. Now, I'm calling it Bogles. Some people tell me maybe it's supposed to be Bogles. All I know is it's typically referred to as Bogles, so that's what I'm going with. If you'd like, I call it green-white hexproof, but that's not very fun. But yeah, things looking up here with our opponent leading on basic mountain and basic forest. I don't know what that means, actually, and a pass. So probably playing Ponza. This is a nice draw here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and ethereal armor this thing. If I had to guess, basic mountain and basic forest means he's playing the green-red land destruction deck named Ponza. Which, it means he might have some board wipes that'd be decent against our Boggle here, but it also means he could just Stone Rain us next. But it almost doesn't matter. And I fetch out that forest there because probably should have just got the Temple Garden. But I don't think it'll matter. Okay, he's just got all the colors. Oh, he's got a Smiter. Okay, whatever. Yeah, definitely should have got Temple Garden. Fortunately, it doesn't matter. Look, we saved ourselves life. Wouldn't really have mattered anyways. And I didn't want to take damage given how... There was sort of a reason. I mean, the Daybreak Coronet, if we got to it, it would have been great. But our hand was just so good already that it didn't really matter. And I didn't... Against, the mountain, I didn't want to just take damage needlessly. Alright, but we will go ahead and Cartouche this guy up. Next turn we'll Daybreak Coronet him. Keep up removal this turn. Look at that, a 7/5 first strike trample hexproof on turn 3. Get on in there. So our opponent's probably just dead next turn. The other thing this Cartouche does for the deck is giving you the warrior. It allows you to just have a chump blocker, and sometimes that's important. I think our opponent's likely just dead here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take the damage. I'm just going to path whatever he plays so that when we play the Daybreak Coronet, he won't be able to block enough to survive. And he probably can't anyways, but whatever. Alright, we'll path the Tarmogoyf. And that should do it. Lethal on the board even without the Daybreak Coronet. This is a pretty good hand. This is the kind of Boggle hand you want. I don't know what our opponent on just like all base. He's got to have Blood Moons, I guess. Which is another reason to fetch the forest for what it's worth. But he's got to just have Blood Moons. Just as the Naya Zoo Blood Moon deck or something. Either way, none of that particularly scares me, so I don't think we're going to need... Well, probably just don't want to board out any of these. Probably his path, but... Everything in our deck seems good. The Spider Umb is probably the least important thing. I don't think we're getting Pyroclasmed or whatever. Not a lot of sideboarding needed here. This is sort of the dream matchup, just this creature deck. At least, what we saw in that game anyways. I don't think this matters. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and roll with it and see what happens here. I feel pretty good about the matchup. Opponent gets to be on the play again, so we might have to worry about him just being fast. But this hand's great again. Look at that. We've got 2 enchantments. We've got 2 Bogles in case he has a way to kill one. We've even got the Core Spirit Dancer to get card advantage. In fact, I might go Boggle into Spirit Dancer. No, I'll probably go Boggle into Boggle Enchantment, and then on turn 3 I'll go, if assuming we have land or whatever, I'll go Spirit Dancer Enchantment so we get to draw a card immediately. It's the idea anyways. So let's see if our opponent actually has an aggressive start this time. He might have a Goblin Guide or something. Not off a Temple Garden, so he's got a Mana Dork. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Daybreak Cornet's pretty good. He needs answer, and this is where he could have Blessed Alliance, so that's something we have to keep in mind. But luckily we even have 2 Boggles to play around it. We can sort of, depending on how it goes, load up each of them separately. Okay, he's got a turn 2 Smiter, that's fine. Alright, well, we got lots of protection against Blessed Alliance in this game. I don't like shocking myself here, but I have to do it. I think we play the Rancor. See, we could play the Rancor and the Ethereal Armor and attack, and I think that might be best. Just because we get to racing, which I think is what we want to do against his deck. And he may just tap out and not even represent. You know, in theory, this could make his take a turn off next turn if he represents Blessed Alliance. But that'd be fine. If he doesn't and he just taps out or whatever, we just play the Daybreak Cornet and probably win the game on the spot. So not a lot that can go wrong here. Well, that's annoying. Alright, well that will blow up our Ethereal Armor in all likelihood. Look at that, he's attacking. So we actually get to get an attack in here. Ethereal Armor number 2 is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put it on it, and we're going to attack. I suspect he's going to blow it up, so like he'll blow up something here, clearing the way for our Daybreak Coronet next turn. But we just don't want to die while we mess around with non-Daybreak Coronet enchantments. But we want to try to get the Pride Mage off the table before playing the Coronet, so that he isn't able to kill it, because it's the obvious one to kill. I guess he's tanking here, and whether or not he wants to kill the other Ethereal Armor, it shouldn't matter. It has Trample though, so he's kind of in a bad spot regardless. Unfortunately, it's not lethal, so we don't force him to do it. He could go to 1. I just don't know that he has many outs to our deck in general. That's the problem for him. Yeah, he's thinking on it now. I mean, he almost certainly has to blow up one of them, which then means he takes 5, goes to 5 when we play out a second Boggle. Actually, we'll probably play the Scout, in case he has something crazy like Ruined Halo and give him protection from the name of a card. Okay, well, he's going to block and blow one up, which just doesn't matter because it has Trample. Unless he blows up the Rancor, which would be pretty odd, but I guess maybe that's his best choice. Removing Trample from our guy saves him a lot of damage. Yeah, that might be in his best interest, actually, now that we think about it. Nope, he gets the Armor. Okay, that's fine. I mean, blowing up Rancor feels so bad, but it would have saved him damage on this turn, allowing him to maybe race. Alright, well now we have this Glade Cover Scout, so we have protection from Blessed Alliance on our next attack. So as long as it's not another Pride Mage here, which doesn't look like... Oh, a Rex Sage, that's pretty good. It is pretty good, actually. Alright, that armor's down. Let's just give it First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, so the game's over and it's all Trample? Sure. Well, he blew up a lot of them, but we cleverly protected that. Okay, so it's got First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink. So if he blocks here, he takes 2. if he were to try, there's nothing he can do to kill our guy. If he blocks with the smiter, he takes 2 and does not die. So there's no reason to attack with this. Just get in there with this guy, gain a bunch of life. And this game seems pretty over. We're going to play another Boggle here. Yep, keeps himself alive. We will play a Boggle. So the Boggle looks like it doesn't matter. And it may not, but say he has another Rex Sage and hits our Daybreak coordinate, then our position actually when the game gets a little more iffy. So like that, just the extra point that it would do might matter. Okay. And he's got a bunch of toughness to throw in front of it. Okay. So what we draw here is going to depend on our, determine our attack. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cash this in for a card. So we can draw a 1-mana enchantment to win. We didn't, but that's fine. Alright, so we still just get in with this. He's still chump blocking. If he blocks here, he takes 2, goes to 1. Trade, kill. So if we attack with both of these, he can't block this because he dies to that. So there's no reason not to get in with everything. If he blocks the Boggle with either of his other cards, he'll die. So the Smiter has to chump block it, which means he then has to trade his Rex Sage for one of them, and chump block with his Hierarch to not die. So this is pretty good for us. Combat math, the most fun. This deck makes it pretty easy, though. It turns out the combat math is just always in your favor when you play Boggles. Alright, put our opponent to 1. I'm going to go ahead and fetch up a land here and play the Core Spirit Dancer. Alright, so I don't think our opponent has any outs here. He needs Rex Sage. And even if he has Rex Sage and we have nothing, then our guy still has 3 toughness, or 3 power, and he only has 2 toughness to put in front of it. Plus there's another Boggle. He's pretty dead here. Maybe we'll play Gideon's Intervention. That's a new one, right? Give himself protection from Slippery Boggle, then he wouldn't be dead. Kitchen Finks is a magic card. Probably not a good enough one. You're currently dead on board. Yeah, which I think he's looking at. Lightning Bolt the Spirit. Yeah, you're just dead. Alright. Take 4 trample and die. Alright, there we go. Boggles getting it done. That's what the deck does. Now, Cartouche didn't come up there, but, we were able to play around Blessed Alliance regardless. But it certainly could have mattered, and I was going to respect it at all points. So that worked out pretty well. Boggles getting there.